Hello, my name is Bob Brim. Mr. Mayor, members of City Council, and thank you for hearing me, and to Ms. Ford and Matthew Baumgarten, thank you for submitting my proposal. Anyway, my background is that I have 7 years in the U.S. military, 27 years resident in Lathrop Village. I have degrees from Oakland Community College, Siena Heights, Lawrence Tech, 20 years mechanical engineering, inventor, patent holder, 2008 delegate to the Republican Party for Lathrop Village, and I'm the 2014 Republican candidate for Oakland County Commissioner for Lathrop Village. And I would like to propose an opposition to the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act of 2012 and 2013. Certain unalienable rights have been guaranteed to us in our Constitution, and these rights were not granted to us by any government. These rights were understood by the framers of our Constitution to be inherited by all citizens of a free society. Two such rights are listed in the Fifth Amendment, and I won't read the whole thing, it's a partial quote. No person shall be held to answer for capital or otherwise infamous crimes unless presentment or indictment of a grand jury. Nor shall he be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. The NDAA wrongfully suspends these rights. While yet a senator, President Obama opposed the passing of the Patriot Act, which allows for indefinite detention of enemies captured on the battlefield. And now the President feels that he has the right to arrest and detain without a warrant, without a trial, and for an indefinite period of time, U.S. citizens on U.S. soil. Republican Senator John McCain has declared that all soil, all U.S. soil, is now included in the definition of a battlefield. The President has suspended the Posse Comitatus Act, the writ of habeas corpus, and we are now living under the threat of a police state with the power of the East German Stasi or Saddam Hussein's Iraq, where citizens can be spirited away in the middle of the night without anyone knowing where they have gone. This is not a partisan issue. Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians oppose the NDAA. Alaska, California, Virginia have already passed ordinances to resist Indefinite Detention Act. As of last week, a bill has been put on Governor Snyder's desk to oppose the use of Michigan resources to enforce this act. If the governor signs this bill, it is still weak in that it does not prevent federal agents from enforcing this act within our state. So, passing this resolution is a step in the preservation of freedom. People of all colors, creeds, and political parties have given their lives to keep this nation free. We cannot trust government to preserve our liberties. Governments do what is in their own best interest. History has proven that if we wish to remain free, we will have to stand together against oppressive laws in order to keep our rights. So I strongly urge the Council to adopt this resolution to show solidarity with all those who treasure their freedom. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, council members, and assorted dignitaries here at the meeting, my name is Dennis Marburger, and I'm rising in support of the excellent recommendation by Bob Grimm for the Liberty Preservation Resolution. Like Bob, I'm involved in some of these activities to help at the local level and at the state level defend our liberty, which we know is part of our humanity. Declaration of Independence says it's from God that we get these things, and governments are supposed to be formed only to protect our liberty. Today, we're meeting at a very propitious time for a number of reasons. Federal court did hold the NSA's 24/7 warrantless surveillance programs to be unconstitutional. And I'm reminded that Judge Catherine Forrest, who was appointed by President Obama, had a very interesting case brought by the Freedom Seven, a group of journalists, which included Christopher Hedges, Tangerine Bolin, and they're part of this broad coalition of Americans, as Bob said, all different political philosophies, who are very concerned about this loss of freedom and what it really means, the chilling effects this will have on the discourse in this country. And Judge Forrest, after listening to all the testimony, both from these journalists and from the government attorneys, was struck by the fact that the government would not define for her just what one would do to put themselves at risk of being arrested by the military and detained indefinitely, disappeared without trial. They refused to specify that. It's a very basic concept for any sort of just law. James Madison, the father of our Constitution, spoke to this and said the laws should be simple so that everyone can understand them and everyone knows just exactly what's involved and how you would run afoul and then be punished. That's not the case with the sections 1021 and 1022 of the 2012 NDAA. The whole sections of our Constitution are violated by these provisions, and because of that, the law itself is not a law, actually, according to all of our founders, the ratifiers of these documents. And it's in violation of the Supremacy Clause, which says only the Constitution and laws made in pursuance thereof are the supreme law of the land. The good news is that communities and municipalities across this country are now fighting against this. Here in our own state, our own county, Oakland County actually passed a resolution, essentially what Bob brought here. Went through the county commission. There was some discussion. You can find it on the record. You can see the discussions. They televise them now or record them. It did pass unanimously. Allegan County passed it, I believe, with an 8-3 vote. Other communities and towns across Michigan are looking at this. I think Berrien County just recently did this, and we see this in other states as well. And as Bob pointed out, there is some legislation that got through the state going to Governor Snyder for his signature on this. The reason why it's so important that our local municipalities stand up for this is we need to further strengthen the protection of all the people. We're all affected by this. Our children are all affected by this. And in addition to that, as the team leader for a group called People Against the NDAA here in Michigan, I'm part of a campaign called Take Back Our Town. And so the idea is to have all of our towns stand up. Madison and Jefferson all said that the final enforcers, the people with the ultimate responsibility and authority to enforce the limits that the Constitution places on the general government, are the people of the states at the localities. And so for all of our office holders who take that oath, they are duty bound, and we as the American people are duty bound to do what we can to make sure that that does happen. So I urge that Bob's resolution is passed, and I look forward to working with you folks in the future as we continue our Take Back Our Town campaign to protect the rights and the liberty and the safety of the good people of Lathrop Village and the rest of Oakland County and the state of Michigan. Thank you very much.
One day, somebody's going to have to say enough.